Welcome to another episode of Make Adventure Happen podcast. In this podcast, we talk about travel. We share our own travel experiences in different countries around the world, and we also talk about specific countries. When talking about specific countries, specific travel destinations, we answer some of the most popular questions about these places and again share our own experience in these places. Today again I'm going to be only myself. Una is not joining me, and today I'm going to talk about Hong Kong, a magical city, amazing city, a city with the highest number of skyscrapers in the world, a city I have been to twice. Una has been once, and that was in 2014. I went back to Hong Kong a few years later. I don't remember exactly, but it could have been 2018, maybe 2019. I was in Malaysia because, long story short, I needed medical help. We were in Thailand. Went to the doctor. Doctor said what I need. I checked the prices and decided that it makes sense for me to go to Malaysia. Una at the same time, since she was alone and had nothing to do in Thailand, thought, okay, I'll go back home. And I was in Malaysia thinking like, okay, the doctor done. Now, why not go to Hong Kong on the way back home? It was fun. It was fun. It was a very cool experience returning to Hong Kong a few years later, experiencing Hong Kong more, seeing more. And now let's do like always when talking about a specific destination. I have went to Google, I have typed in Hong Kong. Let's look at the most popular questions about Hong Kong and let's answer them. And the first one, a unique one I would say, because this is not the first thing that people ask about other places in our experience. Why is Hong Kong so famous? Hong Kong. Hong Kong is famous for, I would say, one thing mainly. I haven't really heard about Hong Kong being talked about as the travel destination, but Hong Kong for many decades has been an important financial hub in Asia. When people are talking about business, big business, lots of money, people are talking about Hong Kong or Singapore. Things are changing, new places are becoming increasingly more important. Places are becoming more important than Hong Kong, I guess, but that's the number one reason I had heard about Hong Kong in the past. And as from what I know, Hong Kong has been known as an important financial destination for many decades. Next question, why is it called Hong Kong, China? Hong Kong, a city, is what was the name? I think it was called One Country, Two Systems. China has it. You see, Hong Kong is a city in China. At the same time, for decades or even or maybe for 100 plus years, Hong Kong was a part of British Empire. It was Britain. But then at around like 2000s, Hong Kong was returned back to China. And now for 50 years, Hong Kong has been given a special status. Here is where the one country, two systems comes into play. Hong Kong is China, part of China, but it has a different government, things work differently, and for you as a tourist, the most important thing is that most likely, if for China you need a visa, for Hong Kong you don't need a visa. Other thing that you will notice right away, if you are a tourist traveling from England, from Latvia, from Germany, from America, from India to Hong Kong, no, let's say to China. If you go to China, sites like Gmail, Facebook, I believe also WhatsApp, YouTube, they won't work for you in China. If you go to Hong Kong, it's a different story. In Hong Kong, these sites are allowed. You can use them normally without using VPN or anything. So Hong Kong, China, because it's Hong Kong, but it's also China, and it is also isn't China. Next question. What else is? Okay. Is $100 the usual question? The usual tourist question. Is $100 enough for Hong Kong? So we'll talk about $100 question, the budget question, the expenses question. We always think about one day. So you are a tourist, a single tourist going to Hong Kong for one day. Is $100 enough? And you are spending also a night. I'll say it's doable. It's doable because there are also cheaper accommodation options in Hong Kong. You can find a cheap and simple room if you are fine with the cheapest places. Also for around 40 euro, 40 American dollars, maybe even 30, maybe even a little bit less. I have been checking the price lately as well, but it's gonna be a tiny room. Hong Kong tiny, this is not the same as tiny as in Latvia. Hong Kong tiny, that's really tiny. And we have stayed in such a room, and I remember I remember how we were staying in a small room and thinking like, well, it can't be any smaller. It was something like, let's think about this for a moment, like I couldn't touch the walls. It wasn't that small. It was bigger than this, but then we moved to another room, and in that room and in many others that we were comparing that day when looking for another place to stay, a cheaper place, most of these rooms were this small that in a room with a double bed I could sleep on the bed and touch both walls at the same time in any place. And when I went into a bathroom, it was always the same. The shower water was going right onto the toilet. This is what a small room means in Hong Kong. And in many of these cases where with the smallest room, you saw also the owner of the place or the manager of the place staying in the same, like guest house. An apartment turned into a guest house, an apartment turned into a hotel, and the owner oftentimes was, or the manager was oftentimes staying in the same place somewhere, maybe sleeping on the floor. Okay, but returning to the original question, is $100 enough for Hong Kong? So you can find a room cheap. You can find food for under or around €10, $10. Lots of things that you can do for free. So yeah, you can do Hong Kong for $100 a day. Public transportation is also very good and very reasonably priced. Cheaper than in many places in Europe, and better. Metro and trains. And yeah, I think the best thing about Hong Kong, same like about many best cities in Asia, is that there are lots of things to do for free. Lots of fun to have just walking around and seeing places, visiting some things and doing. Yeah. Next. Let's choose something travel, something Hong Kong travel related. How is Hong Kong for tourists? Price wise, medium level. It's expensive if you want to live there, but it's medium for tourists because rooms are affordable, can be affordable, yeah, let's say can be affordable. Meals, okay, lots of things to do for free. And one more thing that I like, and which also makes the city, in my opinion, very tourist friendly, is that there are lots of variety of things that you can do for free or cheap. You can go, for example, to the islands. Hong Kong has many islands, and getting to these islands is super simple. Just go to the ferry terminal, buy a ticket, and go. A few dollars, few euro, and you can go to a completely different place. It's somewhat similar like traveling between smaller islands in Japan. You can be on a bigger island and high buildings, lots of life going on, and then an hour on a ferry and you are in a completely different rural setting. Same goes for Hong Kong. You can go and still find these experiences. Like you can find rural life in Hong Kong. And one more thing that not many people know about Hong Kong is that Hong Kong has a lot of nature. Hong Kong is a small place. It's a place that I think I was checking the size of the country and it was like 1/4 of Latvia. And we always say that Latvia is a small country. I think Hong Kong was something like 1/4, so a tiny place, like the smallest countries in Europe. Small, and with a population of like almost like 10 million, so lots of people living there, but they still have lots of nature, and all because the planning, all because our government has planned the land. They have left lots of land for nature. That means take a metro, take a bus, go for 20-30 minutes, 40-50 minutes, and be in the nature. Go hiking, epic hiking trails, epic, with skyscrapers on one side and sea and islands on the other side. Epic. Yes, Hong Kong is tourist friendly, also because people speak English. Many people speak English, and that's due to the fact that Hong Kong has been an important business destination for many decades. What else? Which month is the best for Hong Kong? As far as I know, spring and autumn. Let's check what Thomas Cook website says. The best time to visit Hong Kong is March to April and October to November. Yeah, sounds about correct. When I was in Hong Kong in summer, beginning of summer, it was hot and humid. And when we were with Una in Hong Kong, it was in 2014, like a few years before that. It was also summer, kind of hot. Yeah. I remember the humidity. I remember walking around on the first day and thinking like, is this really Hong Kong, the megapolis of the world, the mega business center of the world? Because we were kind of disappointed, let's say, on that first time, on the very first day, after the rain, when everything is damp and many of the skyscrapers, especially the old skyscrapers, they look not nice, let's say. That makes your first impression not very good. Let's proceed. How many days are enough for Hong Kong? How many days? You can do Hong Kong as a weekend destination. Hong Kong can also be an addition to other destinations when you are traveling in Asia. Maybe you are going to Hong Kong, Macau, and to the mainland of China, or maybe, what else can I come up with? Maybe you can go, I don't know, to Thailand and visit Hong Kong. Maybe it's on your way for you, or maybe you go to Bali and then you're going from Europe to Bali, and on your way back you stop in Hong Kong. Malaysia and Hong Kong, lots of different options. Japan, South Korea and Hong Kong, lots of options. You can add Hong Kong as an extra, as a bonus. as a different kind of mega city. When I say different, what I mean is Hong Kong is this very modern and built up place with lots of nature. Visually, second only to Rio de Janeiro, maybe, in my experience. Epic nature, epic scenery, epic cityscape and nature. So yeah, but you can also spend a week or 2 weeks in Hong Kong. Lots of things to do if you like nature. I like nature. When I was in Hong Kong the last time, I was 1 week in Hong Kong and I went on a hike 4 days in a row, and I still felt like, boy, give me 2 more weeks to go hiking in Hong Kong. These hikes are very, very beautiful, and the coolest thing about hiking in Hong Kong is that many locals do the same. Many locals go on hikes in Hong Kong. So think about that. Look at the pictures online. Look maybe on pictures that I have posted in the past on makeadventurehappen.com, makeadventurehappen.com. I'm not really posting on the blog that much at all lately, but there are some posts, and also I think also from Hong Kong. And think about it, maybe Hong Kong might be your next holiday destination for 2-3 weeks. Hong Kong is epic, with epic food, epic city with epic food also. Not only nature and cityscape, also food. And Disneyland, there is Tokyo, there is Hong Kong Disneyland in Hong Kong. What? Can you wear shorts in Hong Kong? Yes, you can wear shorts in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, what else? How many, what to know? Is it expensive? How much money? Is it cheap to eat in Hong Kong? Not cheap, but not crazy expensive. For the money, I would say the food, the value for money you're getting is good. And you can also, the good thing about Hong Kong food is that you can easily find food from all around the world, because many different nationalities, they live in Hong Kong, or have been living, or have been working and living, so lots of different food options. I believe lots of Asian food options. I remember also eating one of the cheapest dim sum, Michelin star dim sum in Hong Kong. Amazing place. Let's see if I can find it. Michelin star Hong Kong dim sum, because this place is popular. I think you should check it out. It's also in many other cities around the world. The last time I saw them, it was in Taiwan, Taoyuan city, Taiwan. It's next to Taipei, and I think also in Cebu city, Cebu Island, Cebu province, the Philippines, and Bangkok, most likely Bangkok as well. And the place is Tim Ho Wan, 3 words, Tim Ho Wan, Tim Ho Wan dim sum place, amazing place. Try their sweet barbecue pork bun. And we go to the next question. What else? Hong Kong travel. So we talked about prices, medium. We talked about how good Hong Kong is for tourists. Very good. English, widely spoken. Getting around easy because good transportation and affordable. Things to do, lots of free things to do. Also some cool, expensive and not that expensive paid things to do, but also lots of free things to do. And thanks to all these natures around Hong Kong, islands around Hong Kong, it's also like lots of island places to go. Not maybe for swimming. You can go swimming in Hong Kong, definitely, but just to see a different life away from the big city. And yeah, Hong Kong can be a weekend destination, it can be an addition to a longer trip, and it can also be a separate travel destination for a 10-day, 2-week trip, if you like hiking especially, or city life. Any more questions? Hong Kong, Hong Kong, Hong Kong. No. No. Hong Kong. Okay. Hotels. Where to stay in Hong Kong? I think there are two best options where to stay in Hong Kong. One, you can stay on Hong Kong Island. It's the area of Hong Kong where is the, what was the peak? Victoria Peak. Nice peak, nice place to go and see the islands on one side and cityscape on the other side. It's one of the options where to stay. Hong Kong Island. It's gonna be in the middle of the business district. Or stay on the other side of the water, on the other side of the bay. Kowloon. Nice place. You get, in my opinion, more for your money because you can be walking in one direction, go to fancy shops, in another direction go to cheap Indian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani restaurants, Nepalese restaurants, go in another direction, fancy hotels, opposite direction, the famous Chongqing Mansion, the place with lots of shops and lots of cheap accommodation. It was also the place where we stayed for a few days during the first visit. The cheapest accommodation, from what I saw when I was checking the price last time, was still in Chongqing Mansion or Chongqing Mansion. When you see this mansion, you'll know. Okay, that's the place. And not only this one thing, if you're going to stay in that place, that mansion, that mega complex, it's a shady area. It feels like a shady area. But if you are an experienced traveler, if you are used to traveling solo, you'll be fine. Yeah. But you don't have to stay there. You can just stay somewhere in the Kowloon part of Hong Kong. I think it gives you a better value for money. And it's also more interesting, staying where all the life is happening, not where all the business is happening. Yeah, that's it. Go to Hong Kong. If you like nature, if you like city, if you like trying different food, Hong Kong is a great destination for you, also for a week or 2 weeks. That's it. Until next time. Bye.